podcast. Marshall Farnsworth here with Alex Breitenbach and bringing back our Canadian indie country friend, Ian Krochak. How's it going?
Hey guys, how are you?
Great. Good to have you back on the show. Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for having me back. I had such a great time the first time, so it's great to join you guys once again.
Yeah, we had you on for the Kicks Brooks album, and then I was thinking when we started this Brooks Dunn album, we had to have you on, and then Christmas came, and so we're actually getting into the Christmas songs. We'll have to have you on for one of the Brooks and Dunn songs off that album, but
definitely
we wanted to do a few Christmas ones in here. So before we get into that, any updates on the music? You're kind of since the last time we saw you, like music that's been coming out and kind of what you've been up to.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, COVID has definitely been a disruptor as far as the music thing goes, but I think most people can say that. I mean, I'm fortunate that I'm not a career musician in terms of it's my day job. I'm a consultant by day and musician any other time. I put out the two songs, one in April, Drive Steady, then Running Away in August. And my intentions were to get back in the studio to finish really a full length album. But however, unfortunately June didn't happen. We had lots of cases here, and I was actually supposed to start up again yesterday. And finished 5 more songs. I wrote 2 while in quarantine, so in a sense that was helpful. But yeah, who knows when I'll get back there? But in the meantime, we're entrepreneurial as musicians, so doing a lot of online stuff, doing a lot of writing, and just really kind of growing my audience in this kind of incubator we have, because it's really a captive audience right now, right? With social media. So, but it's going well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I was going to say kudos to you for keeping in good spirits throughout this whole pandemic, man. It's so difficult nowadays to people are exploring new ways to, reach the audience because, they have to be in bubbles or whatnot. And It's just been tough. So kudos to you for that, man.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's a good outlet. And I mean, you guys, I'm sure can relate to this. And just, whether it's folks doing podcasts or any other outlet, it's, I'm finding that people are even more so supportive of one another. I haven't met anybody in the last probably 6 months that hasn't been supportive and, accessible, and everybody understands it's a tough go right now. So.
Yeah, it definitely, I think right now, I definitely appreciate any artists coming out with music right now, because I think definitely a lot of people, especially the big time artists, are a little bit hesitant. I think right now putting out music, they seem to be, they're not really sure how much publicity it'll get and stuff. But anyone that is coming out with stuff, definitely appreciated, because, no one else has anything to do and stuff. I'm definitely listening to a ton of music podcasts and stuff, so it's a good time to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this song, Hangin' Round the Mistletoe, is one we're going to get into today. Second song off of the Brooks and Dunn Christmas album, It Won't Be Christmas Without You. This one not quite as popular as far as, well, it is I can't really track down who originally. I don't actually know if this is an original. There's not much information on it. I don't know if this is an original or if they covered it. I know that Brooks and Dunn did not write the song. It was written by some guy named Kostas, a Greek American country songwriter. It was one of the more successful songs on the album, peaked at number 47 on the Billboard country music chart.
Oh, wow.
And so this is my sort of breakdown of the song. It's fairly repetitive. I could probably sum it up in just a couple words, but since I went through the lyrics and I did all that, I'm just going to break it down. So it has about 10-second little band kind of intro. He starts describing winter setting, Christmas, and then says waiting for Christmas Day to meet someone around the mistletoe. So he's been waiting all year. He'll wait longer or wait till then if he has to. It repeats the title a lot, the Hanging Around the Mistletoe. Starts comparing. This is probably the most interesting lyrical note that I found is he compares gift exchange to kiss exchange. Found to be, he doesn't use the word exchange, but that's basically what he does, which I thought was probably the best kind of lyrical part of the song. And then there's a breakdown, and then he asks Santa for the girl that he's been having his eye on, and then he continues talking about just waiting a long time to see this girl. So, what are your guys' songs? I'll start with Alex. Thoughts on the songwriting, thoughts on the song in general.
Well, I am very surprised that I'm learning just now that they didn't write this, because I mean, honestly, I was a little I wasn't really sure initially how I felt, when I saw the song title. I didn't even listen to it, like before I even listened to it. I was a little disappointed because I'm like, oh, I don't know, like these are hit or miss, because like, you write your own original Christmas song, or you take somebody's other Christmas song and it's not a cover of something that people really like to hear during the holidays. It's not Winter Wonderland, it's not Silent Night or Hark the Herald Angels Sing or anything like that. It's really hit or miss with this. Now, I generally think that they did a good job. It had that Brooks and Dunn flair to it, that honky tonk vibe again that we saw in the previous song that we reviewed off this album. So definitely sticking with the honky tonk Brooks and Dunn style Christmas. Nothing really traditional here. It's very unique. But I think honestly that that I didn't get some of the lyrics, but I like the fact that you brought up that gift exchange and kiss exchange sort of like play on words there. I like that. I didn't really dig too deep into that the first time, but that's actually a very good point. And I mean, I think overall musically, I think it's a good one. They got plenty of steel guitar and a good backbeat to it. But I don't know. I think this was definitely a gamble that they took, and it's interesting to see that it's not as popular as Marshall said, and I quite frankly I'm not surprised by that, because again, it's not exactly what people are like, just looking to like hear the. It's not one of those songs that is constantly on repeat, or it's very unique, and again, I think that the songwriter did a good job though, because it's something that I would definitely listen to, but not something I would binge repeatedly. It's something that would probably break up the stuff that I'd binge repeatedly. This would be something I'd insert into a Christmas party playlist. So like definitely, it's a good song though. I mean, and I think that is commendable there.
Just to, I'll throw it over to Ian in a second, but so this song actually it was fairly successful. If you're trusting Wikipedia, I'm going completely off this. I don't know of any other sources you can find for this, Brooks and Dunn 2002 Christmas album, unless you probably, if you had
It's not
maybe
on
the
Spotify,
CD.
is it?
It's on Spotify, yeah,
Oh, it is? Okay.
but
Because
that
did
won't
they
show
have any
you
numbers
like
there?
what'd you say?
Did they have any numbers there on Spotify? Usually,
I'm curious. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I could probably look up. We'll have to do that next time. Look up how popular this song was, but it peaked at 47, so that was second best. Second
okay.
best. The
All right.
only one that peaked higher was 41 is the title track. It won't be Christmas Without You. But yeah. So I'll throw it over to Ian. What do you think about this song, songwriting, song in general? Kind of, obviously comparing it to other, you know, how it compares to other Christmas country songs, I suppose, in that kind of realm.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what? Overall, like I full disclosure, like I shudder sometimes at this type of stuff, like the Christmas music. especially when you have established artists like Brooks and Dunn that you're used to hearing a certain sound from them and a certain writing style, and then like, oh, they're gonna do a Christmas album, and like, oh, but I think in my Christmas song rating, it's probably 8 out of 10 because I just kind of look like, I just go based on like, does it make me feel good? That's what Christmas songs are supposed. They're supposed to move me. Does it make me feel good? I would, to Alex's point, I probably wouldn't put this thing on repeat, but I would definitely have it in the background if I had a Christmas party going on, because it's a feel good song. It's well played. It's the best version of this particular song that I saw when I was researching this song, because there's other artists that performed this song, that recorded this song. Alabama recorded a version of this song. The Skaggs family, like via Ricky Skaggs, recorded this song, and they're all so different. The Skaggs family is very much bluegrass, mandolin, banjo vibe. Brooks and Dunn is very kind of traditional in that pocket, the steel, all that kind of stuff. Alabama's version, I was surprised. It's not a full sound. So, yeah, in what limited research I did in the song, for sure, Brooks and Dunn nailed the version for sure. So I thought overall it was a pretty good song. You know how those things go though with Christmas songs. It's they're hard. Like, I mean, I think every band or artist takes a chance when they put something like this out. You just never know. It can kind of tarnish things a little bit for some audience members, for sure.
I did not see. I'll have to look up the Alabama version. I didn't catch that. The Skaggs family version, I think I might have seen, but yeah, I think I definitely agree with what you're saying there. I can picture having this song on in the background of a Christmas party. So I probably don't want to make fun of the lyrics, criticize the lyrics too much, because kind of like you said, like Christmas songs, you probably, I guess, got to judge them differently, because it's like, if you think about it, if you're writing a song about Christmas, there's probably a smaller vocabulary than you have in writing a song about something that's not Christmas.
That's
so,
true.
You have many, less words to work with, I suppose. So,
yeah.
But in general, I did not care for the songwriting too much in the song. Very repetitive. I thought the song was probably better. The music of the song's better than the songwriting. Felt very.
Well, I mean, in response to that though, there's like, I tend to think that there's very little subject matter that actually there's very little subject matter that you have when you're writing a Christmas song. Like, you have just a set sort of themes that you go with, and like it's under like I know, yeah, you probably didn't like it because it was repetitive, but just in defense of that, like, there's not much really that you can come up with. Again, like I said, it's hit or miss with these Christmas songs, and it's a big risk. And I think, and one other point that I like that Ian made though was that, and I said this in the last podcast, that you have to treat every Christmas song from a different band as its own, because again, it's not necessarily, I don't even really feel like it's doing a cover of it. It's basically making your own song, but having just a different interpretation of what that song is. And so each version is unique. Like, you judge the Alabama version of this song, or you go and you listen to some other country artist version of Silent Night, or like, as you said, Brad Paisley's version of Winter Wonderland compared with the Brooks and Dunn version. Like, you have to take them each as their own. Like, you can't really judge it comparatively.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think too, like, what motivates a band to put out a Christmas album? Like, what's the motivation there? Like, are they, because it's safe subject matter. I think you're gonna equal split in terms of people that are just gonna, like, I'm not going to listen to that. So, and maybe they're trying to appeal to a certain audience, but I almost think sometimes they're putting it out more for themselves. Because I mean, I don't know, I don't know how much commercial success one can have with a Christmas album, right? I mean, really. I mean, I'm sure there's example that, you know, we could probably name 1,000 examples, but overall though, you're not doing it for the commercial success, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a good subject. Maybe we can get into some other point in its own right. Yeah, like Christmas albums, yeah, they are a little bit, yeah, they can get repetitive. Like, you know, I mean, a band puts out a Christmas album, it's kind of like, you know, if it's an original, it's usually a lot of times not that great. And then if it's a cover, it can be a lot of times, you know, just sounds so much similar to all these other ones that they're putting out by different artists. But
although to Marshall's point, like I really do enjoy, I almost view it as a rite of passage for a band. Like they basically, when they've reached the point that they're successful enough, like, you know, they have one or two good albums and then they have a Christmas album, which is they don't care how well it does. They just release one for, like, as Ian said, it, you know, it's for you. You want to have that material out there. And some people really like it. Like I happen to really like, you know, just being able to go back and say, oh, well, hey, these artists have a Christmas album. Oh, that's cool. You know, it's been to that point in their career where they can release one or even multiple different Christmas albums, and it's pretty cool. I like seeing it, in spite of the fact that if they do well, they only do well during the holiday season. But, you know, it's still good to see it and to have like that sort of diversity in Christmas music.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like I agree with you 100%. Rite of passage for sure. It's like, this is what we do. I have a buddy of mine that's an indie country guy, and he's putting out a Christmas album. And I said to him, I said, like, what's motivating you? He goes, I just figure it's my time to put one out. But I said to him, I said, it's like, this is crazy analogy maybe, but it's like, we live in a small town and there's 7 or 8 pizza places. And I'm like, another one just opened up. So what is going to be about your pizza place that's going to be different than the other 6 or 7 in town here? So what's going to be different about your country Christmas album? Like, what are you bringing to the table that hasn't already been brought to the table, right?
Very interesting analogy there.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you. I think it's one of those things people have to check the box off.
One other thing I'll say about the song before we kind of wrap it up. I enjoyed, it seemed like a lot of instruments you could hear in the background. I enjoyed that, you know, very Brooks and Dunn feel, but even kind of more stuff, you know, pianos and stuff. Also, I noticed no chorus in the song.
Yeah.
Just had a verse, just kind of kept going and going, and then a breakdown, another small verse. So I always want to point that out. That's interesting. So that kind of wraps it up on this song. Before we go, Ian Krochak talking about some of his new music, Running Away, one of his, you know, kind of follow up to Drive Steady, if you will, and then some other music coming out. Do you want to talk real quick about Running Away, kind of what that song is all about and stuff, and how you wrote that, and then some of your other music that's coming out?
Yeah, for sure. No, thanks. You know, Running Away is, it represents unfinished business for me, because I recorded that one way back in 2009. I did a country album when I lived in Calgary, Alberta. But you know what? My music thing took a backseat because I was busy going to school and building a family and working. So I never really did it justice. And it was always like, people that spun that album really enjoyed that song. And I was always like, if I get the opportunity to kind of really start hitting it hard again with the music, I'm going to re-record that song with some things I want to do differently. So essentially, it's the same song. It's definitely more countrified. And I love the way it turned out. You know, Len Milne's the producer. He also owns the studio, and he just added a lot of life. You know, there's a Gibson Les Paul ringing through that thing big time. His son is quite an amazing drummer. So when he laid down the tracks, I knew there was going to be something good with that song, just because the kid plays the drums angry, and I love that. It just sends a sets up a nice backbone for the song. So it's done pretty good. Like, it's got a lot of Spotify play, and people seem to enjoy it. It's getting added to playlists, and it's had some radio play. But the new one, Firm Grip on Me, is the one I want to release in January. And that one is very much a brand new song. It's the last song I'll release before the full length album, but it's really around, having a goal, but then having your vices or challenges or distractions derail what you have planned. So I'm in it, and initially was the ugly duckling of the song group, the bunch of songs I had, and I just liked the way it turned out. So I also want to say, guys, congratulations on all your success with this podcast. Like, I saw your Spotify year in review. Everybody's putting it up on social media now, and you did 32 episodes and lots of viewers and stuff like that. So, like, congrats, because I know when we spoke, I think back in May or June, it was you guys were getting her started, and I've been following along, and content's awesome. So congrats.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we yes, I've been listening to Spotify for a long time, so we're definitely I want to do a Spotify kind of year in review or something, whatever it's called, with Alex, kind of breaking down all of our songs. But they actually had one I just saw for the podcast, and so I'll just show you that real quick on here. But doesn't really give a whole lot, but it says 572 minutes of content we released, 32 episodes, and 10 countries, which
That's
Canada
great.
number 2. So
Canada's number 2.
Yep.
All right on.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And
what are some of the other countries, Marshall? What were some of the other countries, or?
I don't. Ireland. But they weren't.
Ireland. All right.
Weren't really big. It was mostly overwhelmingly United States, and then there was like 5%, I think, at this point is Canada, and then the next there was like a few that are like 1%. So it's mostly US and Canada.
Right on.
But we recently hit 1,000 streams. We're at about 1.2 thousand right now, so we're driving steady, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
By the way, Drive Steady is in my top 100 for Spotify songs played.
Right on.
Yeah, I went there. They give you like a playlist. I was scrolling through, and I was like, yeah, I did listen to that song quite a bit. I like that song.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for saying that. And I mean, and you guys, like, with your plays, what I think about podcasts, like, there's another gentleman in town here actually does a lot of podcasts, and we're talking about it's really organic, right? Like, it's not like, like people go and they'll seek out that podcast content, like you're building that brand and they seek it out. So that's a lot of streams. That's pretty awesome.
So that is Hanging Around the Mistletoe, Brooks and Dunn, their Christmas album. Thanks for being on, Ian. We're gonna have you on some other time soon with Brooks and Dunn off the brand new man album. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Ian.
Thanks, guys, for having me. I appreciate it. Always fun.